The most dangerous poison in the world is not a chemical you drink. It is not a snake bite. The most dangerous poison is a lie told by someone you love. Because when you love someone, you close your eyes, you trust them, and that is when they can hurt you the most. This is the story of Emily, a woman who had to open her eyes to save her own life. Emily lived in a beautiful, quiet world. She was 33 years old, and from the outside, her life looked like a perfect painting. She had a small, comfortable house with a garden full of roses. She had a job she liked at a big company, and most importantly, she had Henry. Henry was her husband. He was tall, handsome, and always seemed to know the right thing to say. When Emily was cold, Henry brought a blanket. When she was sad, he made her tea. To everyone in their town, they were the perfect couple. But inside Emily's body, a storm was gathering. For 6 months, Emily felt like she was walking through a thick fog. Do you know that feeling when you wake up, but your brain is still asleep? Imagine feeling that way all day, every day. Her arms felt heavy, like they were made of stone. Her head throbbed with a dull pain that never went away. Simple things like climbing the stairs or typing on her computer felt like climbing a mountain. One evening, Emily sat on the sofa, too tired to move. Henry sat next to her. He looked at her with his big, gentle eyes. "Emily," he said softly, touching her forehead. "You look so exhausted. I hate seeing you like this." "I don't know what's wrong with me," Emily whispered. Her voice was weak. "I feel like I'm fading away." Henry held her hand tightly. "I think it is just stress, my love. You work too hard. But just to be safe, we should see a doctor. Not our usual doctor. I want the best for you. My friend recommended a specialist, a man named Dr. Milton." Emily nodded. She trusted Henry completely. If Henry said Dr. Milton was the best, then he was the best. The most dangerous poison in the world is not a chemical you drink. It is not a snake bite. The most dangerous poison is a lie told by someone you love. Because when you love someone, you close your eyes, you trust them, and that is when they can hurt you the most. This is the story of Emily, a woman who had to open her eyes to save her own life. A few days later, Henry took the day off work. He drove Emily to the city. Dr. Milton's office was in a fancy building. It didn't smell like a hospital. It smelled like expensive perfume and old leather. The waiting room was quiet. Too quiet. Dr. Milton was a tall man with grey hair and a very serious face. He wore a crisp white coat. He invited them into his office. Henry sat right next to Emily, holding her hand the whole time. "Tell me, Emily," Dr. Milton asked, looking over his glasses. "What are your symptoms?" Emily explained everything. The dizziness, the headaches, the feeling that her body was shutting down. Dr. Milton listened. He wrote things down in a notebook. Then he did a few simple checks. He listened to her heart. He took her blood pressure. He looked into her eyes with a small light. The examination was quick, too quick. After 10 minutes, Dr. Milton sat back in his big leather chair. He smiled. It was a practiced smile, like a mask. "Mrs. Emily," he said brightly, "I have excellent news. You are perfectly healthy." Emily blinked. She was confused. "Healthy? But doctor, I can barely stand up in the mornings. I feel terrible." Dr. Milton laughed softly. "The mind is a powerful thing, my dear. Stress can make the body feel sick even when it is strong. Your tests are clear. You are just overworked. You need a vacation, not medicine." Henry squeezed Emily's hand. "See, Emily? I told you. You are fine. Oh, thank goodness." Emily wanted to believe them. Who wants to be sick? No one. She wanted to believe she was just stressed. She forced a smile. "Thank you, doctor. That is a relief." They stood up to leave. Henry was beaming with happiness. "Go to the waiting room, Emily," Henry said. "I just need to ask the doctor a quick question about the bill. I will be right there." Emily walked out of the office and sat on a velvet chair in the hallway. She took a deep breath, trying to feel happy. She was healthy. The doctor said so. But as she sat there, she noticed the door to Dr. Milton's office was not fully closed. There was a small gap, just a few inches wide. From her chair, she could see a slice of the room inside. She saw Henry. He was not holding a credit card. He was not writing a check. Henry reached into the inside pocket of his jacket. He pulled out a thick white envelope. It was bulky. Emily watched as Henry slid the envelope across the desk to Dr. Milton. The doctor didn't open it. He didn't count it. He quickly opened a drawer and swept the envelope inside, as if he wanted it to disappear. Then Henry shook the doctor's hand firmly. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Why? Why would you pay a doctor with cash in an envelope? And why hide it? In a normal clinic, you pay the receptionist at the front desk. You get a receipt. This felt dirty. It felt like a secret. When Henry came out, he was smiling. "Ready to go home, healthy girl?" he asked cheerfully. Emily stood up. Her legs felt weak, but this time, it wasn't from the sickness. It was from fear. "Henry," she asked in the car, trying to keep her voice steady, "I saw you give the doctor an envelope. Why did you do that?" Henry's smile froze for a second. Then he laughed. "Oh, that. Emily, you worry too much. Dr. Milton is an old friend of a friend. He is having some trouble with money. I gave him a small personal loan. It has nothing to do with you. I just didn't want to embarrass him. A loan to a fancy doctor? In secret?" It didn't make sense. But Henry looked so calm. He looked so honest. Emily decided to stay quiet. But a small seed of doubt had been planted in her heart. Weeks passed. Emily tried to live her life. She told herself, "I am healthy. I am just stressed." But her body did not listen to the doctor. Her body knew the truth. One Tuesday afternoon, Emily was at work. She was typing an email when the room suddenly spun. The floor seemed to tilt sideways. Black spots danced in front of her eyes. Emily's head hit the desk. She had fainted. When she woke up, her boss, Mrs. Darcy, was fanning her face with a folder. Mrs. Darcy was an older woman, very sharp and very kind. She looked worried. "Emily," Mrs. Darcy said, "this is enough. You are not well." "I'm fine," Emily mumbled, trying to sit up. "The doctor said I'm just stressed." Mrs. Darcy frowned. "Stressed people do not faint at their desks, Emily. Healthy people do not look grey." "I don't care what that doctor said. You need a second opinion. You need to see someone else." "But Henry said," Emily started. Mrs. Darcy interrupted her. "Henry is a husband. He is not a doctor. Listen to your body, Emily. It is screaming for help." That night, Emily went home early. She felt a conflict in her heart. If she went to another doctor, it meant she didn't trust Henry. It meant she thought her husband was a liar. She found Henry in the kitchen, cooking dinner. He looked so loving. "How was your day?" he asked. "I almost fainted again," Emily said. Henry sighed. "Oh, Emily, you need to relax more. Remember what Dr. Milton said. It's all in your head. Just rest. Just rest." He always said that. He never said, "Let's check again." He never said, "Maybe the doctor was wrong." He just wanted her to accept it. Later that evening, Henry went to take a shower. He left his phone on the coffee table. Usually, Emily never touched his phone. She respected his privacy. But tonight, the image of that white envelope burned in her mind. Weeks passed. Emily tried to live her life. She told herself, "I am healthy. I am just stressed." But her body did not listen to the doctor. Her body knew the truth. One Tuesday afternoon, Emily was at work. She was typing an email when the room suddenly spun. The floor seemed to tilt sideways. Black spots danced in front of her eyes. A text message lit up the screen. The sender's name was Dr. Milton. Emily's hand shook as she looked at the preview of the message. It read, "Next payment is due on Friday. Do not be late if you want me to keep quiet." Keep quiet? Keep quiet about what? The room felt cold. The air felt thin. This wasn't a loan. This was a payment for silence. Henry wasn't helping the doctor. Ideally, the doctor was helping Henry hide something. The next morning, Emily made a decision. She waited until Henry went to work. Then, she called Mrs. Darcy. "I'm taking a sick day," she said. "I'm going to a new doctor." She didn't tell Henry. She took a bus to the next town, far away from Dr. Milton and his fancy office. She found a women's clinic. It was crowded and noisy, but it felt real. The doctor was a woman named Dr. Lauren. She had kind eyes and listened carefully. Emily told her everything: the fatigue, the fainting, and even the weird visit to Dr. Milton. Dr. Lauren didn't smile. She looked concerned. "We need to run tests immediately," she said. They took blood. They scanned her brain. They checked everything. 3 days later, the results came back. Emily sat in Dr. Lauren's office. The doctor held a file in her hands. She looked sad. "Emily," Dr. Lauren said softly, "you are not healthy. You have a serious neurological condition. It affects the brain." Emily froze. Is it fatal? Am I dying?" "It is serious," the doctor said, "but it is treatable. If we had caught this 6 months ago, it would have been easy to fix with medication. Now it is more advanced, but we can still fight it. You will need strong medicine and a lot of care." Then Dr. Lauren paused. She looked angry. "You said you saw a doctor a month ago? And he said you were fine?" "Yes," Emily whispered. "That is impossible." Dr. Lauren slammed the file on the desk. "Any competent doctor would have seen the signs. Your symptoms are obvious. For a doctor to miss this, he would have to be blind, or he would have to be lying." Lying. The white envelope, the cash, the text message. The truth hit Emily like a physical blow to the stomach. Henry knew. Henry had paid Dr. Milton to lie. Henry had paid a man to look at his sick wife and tell her she was crazy. He watched her suffer every day. He watched her stumble and faint. And he did nothing. Emily walked out of the clinic. She didn't take the bus home immediately. She walked to a park and sat on a bench. She needed to process the betrayal. The man she slept next to, the man she cooked for, the man she loved, he was a monster. She didn't cry. She was past tears. She felt a cold, hard anger growing inside her. It gave her strength. When she arrived home, it was evening. Henry was sitting in the living room watching TV. He looked up and smiled. "Hey, you're home late. Where were you?" Emily didn't answer. She walked over to him and threw the medical file on his lap. "What is this?" Henry asked, picking up the papers. "It's the truth," Emily said. Her voice was ice cold. "I saw a real doctor today. I know I'm sick, Henry, and I know you paid Dr. Milton to hide it from me." Henry's face went pale. The color drained from his skin. He looked at the papers, then at Emily. He tried to laugh, but it sounded like a choke. "Emily, I can explain." "Explain!" Emily shouted. "Explain why you let me think I was crazy? Explain why you let me get worse every single day? Why, Henry? Do you hate me that much?" Henry stood up. He looked small. He looked weak. Tears started to run down his face. "No!" he cried. "I don't hate you. I love you. I did it because I was scared." "Scared?" Emily stared at him. "My mother," Henry sobbed. "My mother had the same disease. I watched her die, Emily. It was horrible. Hospitals, machines, pain. I couldn't watch that happen to you. I couldn't accept it." He reached out for her, but she stepped back. "I thought," Henry continued, desperation in his voice, "I thought if we ignored it, if we believed you were healthy, maybe it would go away. Maybe the power of positive thinking would save you. Dr. Milton needed money for his gambling debts. I told him, just tell her she's fine. I just wanted us to be happy for a little longer. I wanted to protect you from the fear." Emily looked at him with pity and disgust. "You didn't do this to protect me, Henry. You did it to protect yourself. You were too weak to handle the reality. So you decided to sacrifice my life. You stole my chance to get better. You stole my trust. Please." Henry fell to his knees. "Please, Emily, I'll do anything. We can start treatment now. I'll be by your side. Don't leave me." Emily looked around the living room. The perfect house. The perfect life. It was all a lie. Love is not hiding the truth, Emily said quietly. Love is holding someone's hand when the truth is scary. You don't love me, Henry. You only love your own comfort. Emily went to the bedroom. She packed a suitcase. Henry cried in the hallway, begging her to stop, but Emily didn't listen. She was not the weak, confused woman anymore. She was a survivor. She walked out the front door and got into a taxi. She went to Mrs. Darcy's house. Emily started her treatment the next week. It was hard. It was painful. But she was not alone. She had her friends, she had her doctors, and most importantly, she had the truth. Henry tried to call her many times, but she never answered. She filed for divorce. She realized that being alone with the truth is better than being in love with a lie. Moral of the story: sometimes the people who claim to protect us are actually hurting us. True love is honest, even when the truth is painful. Never ignore your intuition, that small voice inside you that says something is wrong. Your health and your life are your own responsibility. Trust yourself first. This is your vocab. Pause screen to read it.